the thing that I wanted to do because of this platform was specifically make it clear that it's okay to want to learn how to get out of a fucking headlock. And it seems like a joke at this point because I keep saying it over and over. But no one would ever do a headlock. In your world, no, they wouldn't because it's easy to get out of. But here's an idea. What if you're not as strong as that person? Like, my job isn't to show you moves. My job is literally to show you how to defend yourself. That's that's it. If you can't defend yourself, how are you going to be offensive in any way?
Welcome back to the Still Rolling Jiu Jitsu podcast, where we talk about a side of Jiu Jitsu that goes well beyond techniques and competition. Today, I'm joined by Chris Burns out of Sydney, Australia. It's early in the morning over there on Tuesday. He's a time traveler. Chris is a longtime Jiu Jitsu practitioner, coach, and one of the driving voices behind the BJJ Project platform focused on helping practitioners actually understand their jiu-jitsu, not just collect more techniques. Chris has an approach that's been shaped by his study of Rickson Gracie's jiu-jitsu, particularly the ideas of connection, weight distribution, timing, efficiency, and what's often described as invisible jiu-jitsu. The things you may not be able to see, but you'll absolutely feel when they're done correctly, is what he's talking about when it comes to do with the invisible jiu-jitsu. What I'm really interested in today is Chris's journey from spending years searching for answers, changing the way he thinks about the art entirely, and how those lessons apply to the rest of us, especially those of us who want to keep getting better. We want to keep training as we get older. We're going to talk about the BJJ Project, its evolving relationship with Rickson Gracie's system, and where Chris thinks modern jiu-jitsu is headed, and what he believes we may be losing along the way. Chris, thanks for joining us early in Sydney. It's Tuesday morning where you're at, Monday evening where I'm at, and I appreciate you showing up.
I appreciate the kind words that make me look like I know what I'm doing.
Well, I've seen you on the interwebs a few times. And
not me, it's all AI.
I bet it is. So one of the things I would start off with is let's just get into the BJJ Project. I've actually had you on my radar to kind of reach out at some point for a while. And then when I saw that Rickson was announcing his new affiliation and you were part of that, I wanted to know more. And I said, you know what, there's no better time to reach out than when maybe he'd have something he'd want to talk about with me to put out into the world. So, so tell me more about what this association is, how you're involved and what it means to you.
Well, it's early in the morning. Surprisingly, I've been in the background of this for years. Like this has been happening for a very long time. And the announcement kind of just came out of the blue finally because the announcement was supposed to be a long time ago. But so many little things happen here and there, and Rickson works on his own time. Rickson does what Rickson does. It's been kind of sitting there waiting to happen for a while. So it's taken me by surprise in the last few days because I've had to do like a podcast every single day. Like, oh, the Rickson said that you're a real person now and you exist for real. And we have to listen to you. So, deal with that, world. No, he's condoned my theatrics for long enough. So it's time for me to start acting like an adult. So
Okay.
The Rickson Gracie United, the affiliation, the idea behind it originated from everyone kind of wandering around teaching Rickson's jiu-jitsu, but not actually teaching Rickson's jiu-jitsu. Like we want to make sure that this survives, and we want to make sure that he gets the respect that he deserves from all of his hard work. So it's been kind of a build-up between a few of us, just putting in as much time as we can and resources to build something correctly that's going to help the community and not just us. It's less about like we get to wear a special patch and be like, we're cool. No, we're here to help you. You can sit at the cool kids table with us. We want to share this version of jiu-jitsu because and I say it much more rough than like Scott's so eloquent and Michael's so nice about it. Like it's dying. Nobody cares, and they think it's like Steven Seagal shits. Like not getting punched in the face apparently is a joke.
Right.
Okay, well, my bad. I know that there's some people out there that still really care about learning basic self-defense, and they don't want
Yeah.
to go to like some place where they wear camo fucking cargo pants with shoes on the mats and like blah, 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 like beat the shit out of each other. And now you know how to defend yourself.
Yeah. No Rex
Sweetness.
Kwando.
I'm sorry.
You know,
This is
I'm
very
glad you
important.
actually followed that piece of it up. Oh,
Sweetheart,
all right. We got the little one.
you got it. Sorry.
You're
I
good.
told you it was going to happen. He's very
Don't worry about
strong.
it.
He can move weights, and my wife is trying to get ready for work. I love you, buddy, but you got to go. You want to say hello to the internet? Come in, buddy. And you say hello to the internet. This is the guy who runs the internet. That's the internet
Hi.
lord.
It's a series of
There you
tubes.
go.
I
You can't hear
invented
him,
it.
can you? It's a series of tubes. It's mostly made of plastic. No, buddy. Daddy has to work now. I love you so much. You can't wear my headphones. You can't wear my headphones. I bet.
That's okay.
I'm going to take you outside the door and I'm going to close the door and you're going to go and have a cookie. How's that sound? Mama's going to give you a special cookie. You want to have a special cookie? You've already had the special cookie? Have you had the green one? No? Do you want to have a green one? I love it. He's smart, man. He's a smart kid.
Yeah.
What if I told you you get a star on your chart? You want to?
I like stars.
Maybe. Maybe. You want to get a star on your chart? You want a toy? All right. If you get out of here, you get a ribbon. That means you get a toy. You ready? I want to open it with my. You did a very good job. Want to toast my. No, my sweetheart, you can't. Deal. You can have one. Go. Go, go, go. Fold it easy. Go. It's very heavy. Use two hands. Keep your back straight. Squat. There you go, buddy. I'm going to roll it out there. You have to go. Push, 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 push. Okay. No more coming in. Super important. Love you. All right. He'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's
I'm
okay.
not
You
wearing
know,
pants.
honestly, you
Joke's
weren't
on you. I'm
joking.
just cold from the
Yeah.
waist up. I was
There you
not
go.
joking. I'm wearing my pajamas. Not fucking right.
Nice.
There should be heavier weights here. Let me find it.
Okay.
You know what? I give up. This is about as professional as you're getting from me.
You know what though? And that's okay.
Sorry.
Cause honestly, this, I can edit some of it out, but it's also a good illustration of,
Have to.
we're all real
If
people
anything.
and we have real lives and real
Oh.
families and, shit happens. And, that's a big part of why I started a podcast is, I'm an older guy and I have a lot of other shit going on and I still love to do this thing that, doesn't make sense to people that don't also do it. So yeah.
Sorry, where were we?
Where were we? I think we were on Rickson tolerating your antics. You've grown up a little bit. And by the way, if you're listening, I just met him 5 minutes ago. I have no idea
It's
whether
worse.
he's grown up at all. Yeah, I know. So you've started this affiliation, and actually one of the things you said first, and then followed up and kind of backtracked that a little bit about the art is dying and nobody's caring about the self-defense side of things. And then you said, but you're finding that some people are. And I'm glad that you did backtrack on that because I would argue that a good 90% of people that do jujitsu, at least if you're older than like 23, you're caring about the self-defense aspect. You can compete in those things, but what's the percentage of people that are actually competing overall compared to the either you want to call them a hobbyist or somebody that cares about the self-defense? So
the sport's fantastic, and I did the sport a long fucking time, and I'm not a paper tiger about this. I keep trying to explain my point of view, but people love to have everyone wants division. Everyone loves to have a tribe that they belong to. I get it. There's an episode on Northern Exposure about the whole thing. So just the idea of like that guy doesn't like us. Like I didn't say I don't like you. I don't like your hobby. Like I think you're probably a wonderful person, but if I have to if I have to stand up and open my mouth, I'm not going to lie to try and make you feel better about me. Like I don't need you to like me. The the thing that I wanted to do because of this platform was specifically make it clear that it's okay to want to learn how to get out of a fucking headlock. And it seems like a joke at this point because I keep saying it over and over. But no one would ever do a headlock. In your world, no, they wouldn't because it's easy to get out of. But here's an idea. What if you're not as strong as that person? Like, my job isn't to show you moves. My job is literally to show you how to defend yourself. That's that's it. If you can't defend yourself, how are you going to be offensive in any way? You have to be able to learn how to be uncomfortable in certain situations and know what your boundaries are so that you can learn the basic escape without having to use strength and speed. And when I say it, it sounds rational. But when other people hear it, they get upset. Like, I can get out of a headlock. Like, I know you can because you're 6 foot tall and you've got a lot of muscles. Well, what about that guy over there that's 4 foot and he doesn't have a lot of muscles and he has like a slight injury in his hip? He can still get out and I can help him learn how to get out without being fucking Captain Tough Guy. So why should I be ashamed of sharing this version of the art that helps everybody, including you, Biggie, big, strong, tough guy? You can use these techniques and not pop an Anacostal out and say, like, I got injured in battle. Your battle was on a padded surface, for one. So calm down. Like, it just, I'm not the nice one. Scott is. James loves playing the game. I played the game for so long that I got to the point where I was like, fuck this stupid shit. There's no version of me that needs to pass a Z guard. And I'm not upset because I can't. It's just fucking not what I wanted. And I want to make sure that everybody else understands that like that's a cool version of a puzzle. It's very intricate. And I get obsessed with puzzles easily, by the way. So I have to solve that problem. But I'm pretty sure that's just OCD talking. When I walk away from it, did I really have to solve that problem or did I just lose half an hour of my life? I could have been reading a book. I could have been doing something a little bit more constructive with my time. That's me though. And everybody is different. So
Sure.
again, he asked the wrong fucking guy. This
Well, no,
the
I
way the
think it's
room
the
looks,
right
by the
guy.
way, is how my head looks like that inside.
Yeah.
So you should see all the
So
notebooks.
I think you're the right. So number one, I train at Gracie, Ohio, under Robin Giesler, and
Did I make fun of Ohio? I'm
I don't
sorry
know
if
that
I
you did
did. I
make fun of
keep
Ohio.
shitting. I think I keep saying something like this fucking blue belt in Boise, Idaho, or something Ohio, because it's funny in my head. But then everyone's like,
Yeah,
why do you keep shitting on Ohio? I'm like, I don't know. I
it's funny.
drove
I've
through it
lived in
one
both of
time.
those
It's
places.
flat.
Yeah. Um.
My bad. I'm not making
So
fun of the place. I'm making fun of the
no,
potatoes.
that's okay. Yeah. So that's Idaho for sure. Um.
Yeah, there you go.
But so that is the right thing. So what the reason I say that is I train at Gracie, Ohio, and I love Gracie, Ohio because we focus on um self defense. Our fundamentals curriculum is a legitimately structured thing where people have to know these Gracie combatives, um, and and we're not letting that piece of it go. Now we do fine in competition. We go and show up at tournaments and as far as per capita number of people that are competing from our gym, we do just as well as everybody else. Does that mean that we're going to have somebody that's going to go out and be the ADCC champion? Maybe we're not the gym for that, but we do fine in locals, and we have we have some pants champs and all that other stuff. But we also still pay attention to the self defense aspects of things. Last summer, I met Mike Casey and Pedro Valente Jr. They were both actually at our gym doing seminars on the same weekend with our gym. We did this whole like lifestyle seminar thing, and having those two, a seminar from each of those two guys, like within 48 hours of each other, my head almost popped.
Pretty cool. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think Michael gets enough attention because like he's a personal friend, and I just make fun of him all the time because he's my friend. But if you really think about what he's done for the community and for the sport and for everything, like that, that motherfucker deserves respect. And Pedro puts up with me. I remember sending a
I
message in a group chat one time, and I was like, "I'm so sorry about the swearing. I'm trying really hard." And he said something very nice. He's like, "It's okay. We speak the same language. It's just not that language." So I'm
yeah.
tolerated.
Well, and everybody has their different personalities. I will say this about Mike. he during Pedro's seminar and actually other seminars, we have like a breathing seminar and like a yoga for jujitsu seminar. But during the other seminars, Mike was genuinely curious and inquisitive and asking questions, and never once from any kind of an angle of asking questions because he was a 6th-degree black belt in the room and wanted to have his opinion interjected into it. He was genuinely curious and asking the right questions because he wanted to improve his own jujitsu. So there was no
It's
ego about it.
it's a bit strange how we have a very small group of people in the room with Hickson working together. We're
Yeah.
not trying to teach Hickson what we like. Like we're listening. And that's very special about Michael. It's very special about Scott. Very special about James is that these are the people that are open and want to learn. And we're not just there to like rest our laurels and like we're in the fucking room, look at us. Like this is important shit to us. And I really, because everything you just said, every time I see Michael in the room, Michael has, you have his full attention. He's genuinely paying attention to what Hickson's teaching. And then he's paying attention to my opinion and Scott's opinion and James' opinion. Like I really respect that about a person, being curious and not judgmental. Because I do come off as very judgmental, but I am much more curious than you would be led to believe. Michael, I think he's the quiet one in the background, and I love it
Mm-hmm.
because he just quietly just does his thing, and he's not in it for anything other than the process. And when it was over, I sent him a congratulations. He's like, "Yeah, I know." On to the next thing. Let's continue what we're doing here. Like, yeah, it was a big thing, and it finally happened. Okay, what's next? Let's get back to the
Yeah.
to the grindstone. So
Yeah.
it's very
Well,
cool to be in the room with him and watch his brain work. So I'm looking
yes.
forward to the day that I get to do that with Pedro. I will go out of my way. I think we were going to do like a team field trip. What we're going to try and organize to do a private with Pedro just to get to know him and talk to him and learn because I am always curious and I want to know more. And I know he knows things that we don't, everyone knows something that you don't know, you know? But I like that Michael has reached out and Tony and a couple other people, and we're trying to build a bridge to work together on things. I don't know where that's going to go, so you can't quote me on anything on that. But I'm looking forward to meeting Pedro in person. I like what they're doing.
Yeah. It was so Pedro, obviously I told you that he was there that same weekend, and um I remember we were going Pedro showed up from the airport. He came in and we had just finished one session, and Robin and Mike were like in the far corner of the gym, and they were talking about one of the combatives techniques that Mike wasn't as crazy about it, and Robin and he were kind of like troubleshooting it, and Pedro couldn't help himself. He's in blue jeans and a t-shirt. First thing he did is he asked if he could come on the mat. I knew, of course, he can, Pedro. And so he runs all the way across the mat, and I watched, 90 years of jujitsu collaborating and talking about a basic Gracie fundamentals technique. It was basically the choke from behind where you step and turn and get that just that little
So
takedown. And Pedro was like, "Well, this is the why," and he kind of broke it down. And I watched these collective light bulbs going off, and I just stood there and kept my mouth shut because what I was watching, I had nothing to add to, and it was really cool to
yeah,
watch those three kind of put their heads together on it.
what's
So
what's genuinely like full dork fascinating for moments like that for me is that
yeah,
I'm kind of I'm a very dumb academic. I have quite a few books in my library, and I've done a lot of time on the mats trying to figure out why these techniques have always been presented versus these techniques no one really cares about, and they get lost in the shuffle of time. So, like, and this is not me shitting on it because it always seems like I'm shitting on it. And I'll give a quick free story on this. When I was around purple, I found leg locks, and this was before leg locks were cool because I was purple before leg locks became the thing. And I found them specifically because of like Dean Lister. So we were doing like corkscrew and all kinds of other fun stuff for quite some time. And I was studying like Sambo saddle reversals and all kinds of fun leg locky stuff. It has its place. So I'm not shitting on it. And I was tapping out black belts with leg locks and like one specific choke. And I was really happy. Like, I think I found jujitsu. Ha ha. And
I
it
solved
took
it.
another 10 years to go like, yeah, it took leg locks becoming such a big phenomenon in the sport community for me to realize that, okay, no, that's not the answer. The answer isn't to surprise them with an attack that they don't know the response to. And that sounds flippant, which it's not, because those attacks are phenomenal. And why ignore 50% of the body? You know, the catchphrase now. Honestly, it's true, but you're opening yourself for more attacks. So for me, realizing that it's not, all right, this is the way to beat the higher levels by tricking them. It was more of, what's the foundational way for me to survive and beat this person as opposed to the cool move. And I can't say this correct for anyone because someone's going to get pissed off because leg locks are great and they work and there's a contextual time for specific things. But for me, finding out that, okay, I don't have to know that stuff because if I do that, he can do this and it does that and it does this. There is a positional hierarchy that you're looking for. You genuinely are looking for a positional hierarchy of control so that I'm not being attacked while attacking. It's a slippery
Yeah.
slope to talk about because there's reversals from everything. But if you look at the highest percentage of submissions within context for all kinds of things, it's not going to be that. So finding guys that dork out with me and run across the mats in their blue jeans to discuss like a very basic thing like grab from behind. That's going to
Yes.
happen. That's going to happen to you more than, and I've said this a few times, and sooner or later it's going to get me in trouble. But like, I've been in a lot of stupid fights, and not one time has someone gone for a leg lock. Like that's the
Yeah.
game, and that's the sport. So when you look at the fucking hundreds of books that I have on the shelf from like 17 fucking 20, I'm not seeing a lot of leg locks being taught, but I am seeing a whole lot of fucking grabs and a whole lot of
Yeah.
strikes, you know? And again, I don't want to be a paper tiger. I honestly want to know those things because I like winning practice. I like playing the
Hmm.
game. It's fun. And if I get stuck in a fucking leg lock, I got to know how to get out because you can't punch your way out of a leg lock. Like you can if the other guy's shit, maybe. But fuck, man, I'd rather know the actual escape. I don't want to have to rely on my strength and my speed. I want to understand the setup, the execution, and how I can pull that apart without having to be bigger and tougher. It's a part of me,
Yeah.
whether I like it or not.
Well,
Meanwhile, that
it's a,
grab from
go ahead.
behind, oh, just that grab from behind. The Asoto. So the pullback, the leg hook Asoto instead of the Sayanagi, that
Hmm.
that will never die. That's a move that has to be taught and refined for a lifetime. Lifetime. If you plan on competing at the highest level of competition, will that move ever happen to you? No. Have you ever seen I've seen a Sayanagi, but it's a setup throw. Like I'm making that
Sure.
throw happen. You didn't grab me from behind and pull me backwards for so context has a big role to play in what we're trying to achieve here. Anyways,
Absolutely.
sorry, I talk a lot.
So, so you kind of touched on a little bit, but you've said that you spent 10 years looking for secret techniques, and the thing that changed your jujitsu was basically a hip escape. How does that happen?
And that genuinely is how it happened. So I was collecting moves and just getting injured constantly. And for over 10 years, I was wandering the earth, like thinking there has to be smashing an orange on my head. Like there has to be a better way. So someone got the reference. For me, I started jujitsu specifically because I was told like this voodoo thing where I didn't have to be big and strong and fast to protect myself and defend myself. And I spent over a decade collecting moves to try and beat guys that were trying to beat me at the game of jujitsu. And that one hit hard because of a specific street fight that I got in. I think I was around blue belt and I got my head like banged into the concrete from half guard bottom. And I was like, this there has to be a better way. Like
Yeah.
it took very violent moments in my life for me to stop lying to myself. Like it's really cool that I'm tapping these guys out that are wearing a specific gi that won't fucking tear when I do a cool choke. But when I get into a fight out here, I keep getting fucking hit all the time. I keep getting stitches, and the stitches are stopping me from training. I'm torn. And then I would go to MMA, and I'm winning MMA by doing jujitsu against the guy striking. I'm still torn. I don't understand. It took a long time for it to fucking finally sink in that the collection of the moves wasn't enough. And luckily, there was a guy that was teaching Hickson's theory of connection and base. And I went to a seminar. And when I was at that seminar, I finally found like that's what I've been looking for this entire fucking time. This one concept of foot equals shoulder. Foot equals shoulder. You can't push. You push, I can pull easier. And I use dumb words every time because people make it seem like it's um like the flow of the key and all these like fancy terms to make it seem bigger than it is. Basic engineering shit. Talk to Michael. Michael breaks it down really well. He's like, "You're building a bridge, you fucking idiot. Bridge no build. You're building a
Yeah.
bridge, you fucking." I love him so much. It's true. If we Because Hickson refined this part of jujitsu so well. Like he had to term it invisible because you can't see it. You had to feel it. And it became like this voodoo on the wind shit that everyone was like, yeah, whatever. He's a manimal. Like you watch him running up the steps and doing the breathing exercises, and you kind of misconstrue his physicality for his intellect. So
Yeah.
like he's very smart and he's very determined. And he's like, he sees a problem. He's like, I am gonna solve this. Fuck you. And I love that about it. Because it's less about like, I'm gonna break this puzzle. Fuck you. No, it's like put me in that leg lock, let me figure out the leg lock, and then let me completely like it's no longer here because of this, and this. And just
Right.
watching that happen in front of my eyes, it opened the door to me to realize that this is real. This isn't some bullshit. And I need to pursue this part relentlessly, not the collection of moves, not the, for lack of a better term, like how do I pass combat rock? Like whatever the cool thing is now, I have to figure out that puzzle this week. No, I don't have to figure out that puzzle. That puzzle, the answer is this. You lean left. That's the cool part that I finally got. And for over a decade, all I've been doing is refining that. We've been doing is refining that and finding the best way to keep these things alive to pass down to another generation that's about to get kind of sucked in to the cool move thing, right? Like
Hmm.
they have a big bag of cool moves held together by physicality, and your physicality will fade. Like whether you think
Yeah.
so or not, and no matter how much HGH and whatever red light therapy you're doing, like you die. You will die. You're gonna die. To make this useful for you for a lifetime, you have to concentrate on the fundamental build. God damn it, they ruined me. Building blocks, suitcase. It's in my fucking head. All that stuff that really makes the core principles of these moves work in general has to survive. Has to. So the first level of Rickson Gracie United is the self-defense unit. So learning
Yeah.
all of the Elio lessons refined through Hickson's guidance. And I think the principles behind his invisible jujitsu have changed those moves. So trying to keep that alive and pass it down to a future generation so they can sharpen that blade is our goal for now. And then we'll build on
Well, I think
it.
I think you hit on a few good things. Um, so I think age has a little bit to do with wanting to be a move collector versus finding stuff that works. Because you can collect all the moves you want when you're athletic and dynamic and you have those attributes, but then overall, those attributes eventually decline. And time is undefeated. So as you get older, and also as as you have some jujitsu mileage on you, um, you start looking for ways that you can do jujitsu that doesn't leave you crawling to your car.
Fucked.
Right?
Fucked.
Yeah,
I
proper
got
fucked.
I got I got hurt so many times trying to learn how to defend myself, and that's what's made me the asshole that I am, honestly.
Hmm.
Like if I backpedal this, me wanting to learn how to defend myself and constantly getting injured and being told that I'm getting tougher and being tougher is how I defend myself annoyed me to no fucking end. And then over the last few years, being bullied for wanting to learn how to defend myself against bullies is this full
Isn't that weird?
circle of why I'm here being this idiot on the internet. Because before this, like, I don't care. Like, oh, I'll get canceled in a week. Like, cancel me. I'm still fine with that. But I'm not going to shut up about this one thing. Like, you've made a
Yeah.
culture out of this art, and that culture has become divisive and filled with bullies and sexual predators and jackasses that just shit on other people all the time. And then they get on the mats like, let's fucking duke it out. Okay. I don't plan on slapping hands and bumping fists on a padded surface. So I don't think I have to defend myself. I'm here to defend myself. So
Right.
I think the version of this art that's just shit upon needlessly, like it would never happen. No one would ever put you in a full Nelson. No one's going to hockey punch you out front of North Point Mall. I'm naming, no one's going to grab you with two hands around the neck from behind. Every one of those things has happened to me because I led a stupid life. Not everybody is out there
Well,
looking for violence. Some of us are dumb and it just happens.
I feel like some of the people that say that that kind of stuff will not ever happen, they must have forgotten about middle school. Um, you know,
Yeah. Okay. Or
school
they
was
didn't grow up
brutal.
in Atlanta. I don't know. It's your fucking problem. Like, dude,
Right.
I remember in Melbourne, of all nice places to get fully attacked, like two hand grab from behind, choke, and then a trash can thrown at me. A side note on that, I remember one of the biggest competitors at a club that I used to train at got his ass beat in St. Kilda Park and never came back because it became like a
Wow.
joke. Like, I thought you knew how to fight, and he got his ass kicked. Like, fuck, man, you're learning a really cool game. And like, I know you are tough. I guarantee you're fucking tough. But unless you start to put some parameters on that, it's not going to be useful outside of this one context. It can accidentally be useful. Like I've seen guy do a heel hook on a basketball court, and that's cool as fuck. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, if you pull that shit off, you are a legend. I just don't want to get my fucking head caved in again. That's all I wanted. I remember sitting on the swings in a park with a giant bottle of vodka and my face was caved in. You can't tell, but there's like a bunch of fucking spots on my face where I had to get a ton of stitches. And there was a hole in my cheek at one point. I got my face fucked up and I'm sitting there on that swing going, there has to be a better way. Like I fucking wish that somebody had taught me Gracie Jiu Jitsu to start with instead of the sport and calling it Gracie Jiu Jitsu. If you want to learn the sport, fuck yeah. If you want to add the name Gracie before the sport, fuck yeah. But please put some parameters on it. And please like be vocal about what you're teaching and what you're doing. You know, like he's
Yeah.
lucky he's not wearing a pea coat because I would spider guard him. Like, yeah, cool. You do you, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm yelling at a wall at this point.
Well, that's Chris Howard, his mantra about thinking street, uh, play the sport and practice the art. Uh,
Something to do with lizard people.
yeah, yeah.
So I
I
love
actually,
Chris.
you know what, and not to just totally derail, but you
With
used to
Chris?
be.
No,
I
derail.
shouldn't say. I well, I no, but just
Chris would
like
never
a
derail.
shift. So, Chris Howard, he was one of the first,
Absolute legend.
jujitsu internet guys that I ever started following and what I watched Roll and all that. And I'm also a Marine and so that Marine Corps background, I'm like, he's my people.
Hey, fucking hey.
And now you're an artist. You were a comic artist, right? And I saw the Chris Howard 9 degree thing, and he's making or was making a graphic novel. I don't know if it's finished or if it's come out or what he's doing with that. But when you guys met, being that you guys are both artists in some similar kind of areas, what did you guys talk about the most? Was it jujitsu or comics?
Lizard, lizard people. We're,
Yeah,
no, we have a lot in common.
yeah,
I genuinely like Chris as a person. So I remember I kind of stumbled into his garage by accident. I can't remember why I ended up doing it. I think I was over there for Gracie University because I went there to learn how to be taught. and somebody offered me the chance to meet Chris Howder. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to meet somebody. It was his garage at like 9 o'clock at night in LA. And I remember like rocking up there. And it was like super fucking late. I was like, I'm not sure he's gonna want to even see us. And he's like, 3 on. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And then we just started fucking rolling. And he put me in worm guard, and I was sitting there like, the fuck is this bullshit? And so I froze,
Yeah.
and then he punched me. I was like, hey. And then we were best friends
Yeah.
because he's just weird enough, man. But over time, we've had a very unique friendship because we live in different continents and we don't see each other as much as I would like. But every time I would go, I was living in Arizona at the time. I'd sleep at his house when I was training with Rickson. I'd go down, I'd be like training with Rickson for a week, and I just sleep on. They have kids, and I don't want to sleep in the house, and I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I was like, "Can I sleep in the garage?" He's like, "You can sleep in the guest house." Like, "Can I sleep in the garage?" So I got to sleep in a camping thing in the garage and use the shower,
Yeah.
and then the shower broke, so I was bathing in the ocean. It was really cool. Like it's part of the experience of Howder is being in that fucking Fuddruckers garage of his, and I love every second of it.
You
But
know what's crazy
with
is
us,
they're closing that combat base and
oh, yeah,
moving.
yeah, yeah, it was a whole thing with his mother's passing, and I know they're gonna move him to another place. We've been trying to convince him to move to Australia for years. Like, we'll set his ass up out here. Like to get ready
Yeah.
for the apocalypse. I know he's ready for the Mad Max apocalypse. So this is
Yeah.
the jam. You got the inland, you're good to go. The I was helping him with the comic book for a little bit. So he would
Okay.
send me like run-on sentences for me to decipher for panel work, and because I made comic books for a long time. And unless you break it down as dumb as possible, like left hand panel, top left. Like
Yes.
I have to make this a comic now? Shit. I didn't quite understand it. So we would back and forth with artwork. And I remember drawing him or an elderly man with a million stripes wrestling a bull. I don't know whatever happened to that artwork. It's out there floating around somewhere. Because it wasn't him because the guy was bald. But yeah, no, we've kind of worked together on a bunch of stuff. I threw him into the Rickson book because I did the art for Rickson's book, and I made sure that Chris doing the shield defense with Rickson was the first picture. Because
That's awesome.
when Peter McGuire, yeah, because I know Chris has an immense amount of respect for Rickson. Like he loves him to death, and he even uh like, do I smell okay? Is he gonna like me? Like he's known him for like 20 fucking years. He's known for like
Yeah.
40 fucking years. He's known for a very long time. He's like, oh God, I'm gonna go see Rickson, and it's really sweet to see him do that every time. So like it's kind of like Ozzy Osbourne. You ever hear that story? Henry Rollins talking about Ozzy Osbourne, and Ozzy is like,
No.
"Is anybody here for the concert?" And Henry's like, "There's 2,000 people here, sir. They're
Right.
all here for you." Like that's the level that Chris is. Is like, do you think they'll like me,
Yeah.
dude? Everyone's here for you. You're the shit. Like, do you think
Yeah.
Hickson likes me? He's like, he fucking loves you, dude. Come on, let's go. Uh, Um, God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever gonna do a comic book together. Scott wrote the book. They finally got that done, but I highly
So
doubt I'll be able to do any kind of work with him.
perfect time
Yeah.
to mention the Chris Howard book.
Hey,
If you
solid.
haven't read it or if you haven't started reading it, the Chris Howard book, it's on Amazon. Go get it. I'm not paid by Chris to talk about his book. I'm not paid by anybody other than my employer, but
Nice.
it's a good book. It starts out awesome, and that's where I kind of saw some of the um, corollaries into art and the Howder brain, wanting to be
He's
known
so
as an
creative.
artist and not a jujitsu guy.
Yeah. He's just watching him in action because I've had him work with the BJJ Project and just putting him because I told them when we first started filming, I was like, I got a guy that you need to put on camera. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And I made sure to connect them to Chris. I was like, Chris, you got to work with them because if you film with them, it's not going to be, here's $20 a month in back royalties for shit that you paid to make. Like these guys will actually take good care of it. And I told them specifically, I might be talking out of turn, but I was like, start the camera and walk away. Don't give him direction. Put him in a room with like 5 people and just let him do his thing, and you're going to catch lightning in a fucking bottle. I guarantee it. If you give him direction, it's not going to work. So they started trying to give him direction, and he's like, "Ooh, shiny!" He like
Yeah.
went over there and started doing. I love watching what they've managed to do with him. But what I would love more than anything is to watch him just teaching a class. If you watch him teach a class with the right question, you're on a journey, man. And there's nothing better than watching Chris be creative because Chris is an artist. And when you try and put a parameter around an actual artist, that artist is like, fuck out of my way. I'm going to talk about that. And I
Right.
fucking love it. I love it to death. So just his work with the BJJ Project makes me really happy. And I want him to do more with them. But I guess that segues to the BJJ Project being a stable for people like us. So when you ask me about the BJJ Project, I don't know. I'm just a product that they sell. So I don't know how they're
Okay.
doing their thing. They're fucking smart though. And they know what they're doing.
Well, it definitely reached my algorithm hard. I get
We're gonna
stuff
get
all the
Scott.
time.
The
Yeah.
the plan is to get Scott and James and all of the Rickson Gracie United guys, and I'm not sure 100% if I'm supposed to make a public announcement about it, but there's some special stuff that's been filmed for Rickson. So I
Awesome.
don't know if by the time I say these words, I think it will go out today, but the Rickson Gracie United announcement probably took like 2 fucking years. So I
Okay.
don't know how long it'll take for the video part of what I'm talking about to be announceable because this is basically high school. I'm not allowed to tell you that Casey likes you. You know, like,
Right.
shh, don't tell him because we got plans. So this high school environment of like I have to hide this before I can announce this, and then I can announce this before I hide this drives me insane because I'm too dumb for secrets. I can't
Yeah.
lie. It's fucking impossible.
I'm awful about secrets. I also don't do secrets because I'm not smart enough to remember the when and where and
I'm too
why.
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I want to do the
Um.
Equinox algorithm and be a neurolinguistic programming genius, but fuck me. I can mirror. I can, like, I
Yeah.
can sit here and make you feel more comfortable about talking to me.
Well, that's
But you can't
valid.
fucking do anything else.
That's actually kind of funny you mentioned that. I am a programmer, but I'm also very much a mirroring kind of person. A little bit of both. Uh, my boss
This
actually,
boss.
he when they hired me after about a week, he said, "We've never hired anybody like you." And what he was talking about is like I can talk to people, um, and I like to be around other people, and the rest of these programmers have no desire whatsoever to ever interact with another human being as long as they live.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
It's understandable.
so so if there's video, so what can you feel when Rickson does jujitsu that you won't be able to get from a video?
Something being done correctly.
Okay.
Sorry, fucking just hate me. It drives me crazy because there's the easiest way to describe it is that it's invisible and you have to feel it. But I'm also very fucking mouthy, so I have this way of describing it where people go like, "That makes sense" in ear hole. But when you
Yeah.
physically feel what he wants you to feel, there is a level of understanding that's going to cut through visual and audible. And I know that sounds like nonsense to someone out there because like I've been like made fun of as like it's snake oil. I don't, and I can't be mad at you because I know you're a jealous little jelly bean, but it's pretty important that you feel it before you shit on it because I didn't know the difference between like for lack of a better term because you were talking about the Gracie University and the grab from behind. There's a lot of invisible aspects of weight distribution that have to be felt to be understood. If I can put the weight in that foot, you can't step that foot off. If you can't step that foot off, that means I don't have to deal with 20 more problems. So understanding that if I put my weight in this one spot and I gently lean left, I've taken away 20 problems. And if I say that loud enough, somebody out there goes like, that makes sense. Because I remember rolling with Rickson and I'm a world champion and I couldn't do shit because he leaned to the left. Because
Yeah.
those are like those stories that you're like, well, and then jackasses would be like, oh, well, he'd be a purple belt today's standards. Like, I'm not sure that your your sandwiches are all packed. I'm pretty sure you're just dumb and you really want to be right. The 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 cool part about being around Hickson is that I'm always wrong in some way. You know, like I feel like I'm doing it correctly, and then he comes over and he'll move my hand and then push from my foot to my hand and go like, "Now's correct. Trust
Yeah.
me." And then the guy on the bottom's like literally the change was this. That was the change. And that's the importance of invisible jujitsu. If we can explain it verbally and show it visually, and you can feel that shit, you will take a moment and go, I think maybe they're on to something. Because if you talk about, for lack of a better term, what's was sticky hands. I don't think it's a lack of a better term. I think it's a fairly uh, valid expression. The idea of playing with each other's base to move each other. And when you take a step, you lose. Okay, start again. You take a step, you lose. Understanding weight
Hmm.
distribution and connection takes away the idea of strength and speed. You can add your strength and speed to weight distribution and connection. And that's going to make the move far more powerful in a way that you can't comprehend until you feel it. Was that
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's crystal clear to me. And I'm thinking, even this morning, I'm one of those morning jujitsu guys. And, we were
Same.
working today with like a heavy ride where I'm shooting and collecting an elbow into a Kimura from, kind of that heavy side control over their head. Uh, do you know what I'm talking about? Um, my rib cage is on
Looking in
their
my
head.
head.
I'm facing south, and then I'm collecting that near side
North,
arm
south?
into a Kimura grip. Huh?
North, south, Timor. So,
Yeah, but I'm
Roman
not north
mask.
south. No, this is still like it's just a heavy ride. So elbows on far side of head and rib cage on face. Uh, kind of like a
Jeez.
reverse case of Gatama almost. Um,
Okay. I'd have to
anyway,
feel it.
point is getting the Kimura grip in there, and I felt like I was pretty powerful, but I'm also a big guy. As I'm drilling it, and they say, hey, move 2 inches down onto his hand and not on his wrist, and uh and I know that I do that, in back control. I pay attention to that because then they can't straighten an arm and get out of it. And I was like, I didn't even think about it being that way here, but it is. And oh, by the way, it's that much tighter now. Um, so
That's
um,
so
it's every day.
that's that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is what has to survive, and that's why we have a coach. And this is something I yell about a lot because, like, yes, you can roll and you can spar and you can see what works for you against all these beasts. But if
Hmm.
you had a coach that goes, move your hand 2 inches down, all of a sudden you've taken out this huge amount of time that had to be spent where you reinvented the wheel. So now you understand the wheel better. Maybe you just need somebody to show you how a wheel works. Like and that really does, it frustrates me no end because I was thrown into the deep end and just told like, all right, just fucking kill him. I was like, with what? I don't know. Figure it out. And that to this day, I'm still bitter about that. When it comes to Hickson teaching things, like I would have moments where he'd look at me like, Chris, do this, do the escape. And I'm like, which escape? And he looked at me like dead in the eye, like, the escape, genius. And I'm like, I think you forgot that I'm new here. Like, cause like a decade ago, like he would teach me like I was one of the regular students of his. Like, Chris, do the thing. And I'm like, I have like 30 things in my head because of all the other guys telling me their thing. And now
Hmm.
I'm a chicken in the road. I've got 30 options, but it was left and right. So
Right.
having a coach that goes, move the hand 2 inches down, I think is a very valid and important part of what we do.
Well, and I think that also consistency in message and what you're learning from your coach. Some people own 12 instructionals on something and they'll still suck at that same position. Would why is that?
Because you're too busy trying to win practice. Instead of focusing on failing more often, you're focusing on how do I beat the person that I'm practicing with. I think Gracie University put it really well by having a good bad guy. I have nothing
Mm.
but kind things to say about Gracie University because I know in the sport world they try and shit on it all the time. And I'm not Gracie University. I worked with them for quite a while, a few years. I admire the way that they organize things and they share things and they have an uke and a tore. Because probably butchered those words. Good, bad guy. They feed the
Yeah.
move. Yeah, but what if I resist the move? Then it's another move, you fucking mongoloid. The
Right.
important part about just the ability for people to be dumb, like purposely, just
Yeah.
drives me insane. Like I'm doing a move and then you completely resist the move. It'll never work because it's a completely different move now. Please just,
Yeah.
oh, it's too
Did
early for
you
me to get frustrated.
have you so my coach, we were talking about Orion and his match in Metamoris years ago against Andre Galvao. Uh and 20-minute match, and I'm regurgitating a lot of the stuff that Robin Giesler was talking about, but then I went and watched the match. Where Orion said that their strategy, it was a 20-minute match. He said for the first 10, he was just going to basically play defense and prove that to Andre that you can't submit me. And they said it in an interview right before the match started. And then that's exactly what he did. He basically, from when they first connected, he immediately let Galvao basically into a nice heavy side control and then escaped it. And then wouldn't let him pass the guard over and over and over again. And then there was a point where he almost lets Galvao into mount and immediately executes a perfect trap and roll. And it's actually the most watched part of that YouTube. You can see the little line on the bottom of the YouTube, what people are watching. It's the perfect Gracie fundamentals trap and roll that you've ever seen against a 9-time ADCC world champion. And
Can you put your hands in the
then
right place describing it?
yeah, well, yeah. So but it was like literally like that fundamentals class that morning that we had just taught and we were talking about it. Um, and then the second 10 minutes, then he turns it up on Andre and becomes a bigger and bigger problem. The fight ends up in a draw, but he went out and said basically exactly what he was going to do. And then he executed against, at the time, one of the world's best. And that's the guy that's teaching Gracie University, by the way. So like we shouldn't discount a guy because was that?
It might work. Just it might be correct. It might. I don't fucking
Yeah.
know, man. Yeah, man. You can shit on things as much as you want, but honestly, what's the line? I can't remember. Like you got to be curious, not judgmental. You can't just
Yeah.
shit on something because like the other guys in the cool kids group were shitting on that thing. You got to think for yourself. I enjoyed everything about that, and I enjoyed the structure of teaching self-defense to begin with. Also, I got made fun of like mercilessly because I was at a sport academy when that fight happened, and I was so
Mm-hmm.
happy about it. I was like, "Did you see what I've been trying to tell you guys for like two
Yeah.
fucking years?" And like, "Oh, all he did was run away." Bullshit, and they would shit on him. They
Yeah.
literally, these guys that are not good at fighting, all of you, none of you are good at
Sure.
fighting. I know you think you are. They're shitting on literally like the highest fucking level of shit that you should know. And he's out there with the best competitor of the time surviving. You can't shit on that. You cannot shit on that. It's
And
Gracie Jiu Jitsu in action because it's a defensive art that can be made into an offensive art.
not only was
So,
he surviving
God,
though, I mean,
I
he was
admired it.
executing fundamentals class number 1. That's trap and roll maybe
God
should be the
bless.
first thing that
Yeah,
anybody ever learns is how to get out of mount, right? So that they and then he goes out and does it. And in the most fundamental way, the traditional grip that they teach, not any other version or variation. It was the day one class. And in Gracie, Ohio, we're not a Gracie University gym, but we're actually Helson affiliate. Um, but
pure
yeah,
violence.
yeah, yeah,
So
and
big Helson fan. Big Helson fan.
good. Yeah, Helson. I think sometimes he gets lost in some of the Gracie popularity or fame or whatever. But
Yeah, that's why I love him. It's because he's not out
yeah,
there on the front line trying to get people's fucking attention and money. He literally is just wandering the earth like, yeah, do the leg lock. Smacking you in the fucking head while you're doing it. Shit.
yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
dog. All right. I
yeah,
respect it no end. And the violent stuff that doesn't get taught as well. Like, oh goodness. Michael has
Yeah.
shown me some beautiful things. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan, and his guard is a guard. Like it's the most. I love how violent he is, and not in
Yeah.
like a catty way. Like I love it because I think it's making jujitsu something closer to what it should be.
Well, he's
So
always
I don't know.
remembering that
It's
you can use jujitsu and use strikes if you're actually in a fight, right? Like, keep in mind,
yeah,
kick him in the face if it's there. But
that's what I
and
teach.
his yeah, and his son, Jean Vandestein, if you want to be sore the next day, go be Hizuki for a seminar.
Oh, man, too
Yeah,
old for that shit.
he's awesome guy. Actually, I think that his English is strong enough. Next time he comes around, I'm going to get him on the podcast. I
It's
kind of have been
cool.
delaying. We're friends. I've been to I've been around him a bit, and I was like, how would this work in the podcast? Because we're almost there. We'd have to heavily caption, but I think he's gotten good enough.
Get a translator. Get the woman that does the sign language for Wu-Tang in the
Hire,
bottom.
hire,
Shit's awesome.
yeah, stenographer.
He's probably gonna beat me up now.
Yeah.
I think it'd be well worth it. Those old school guys, man, they're the ones that I like. Pedro Sauer and Helson, and
Yeah.
man, there's a wealth of knowledge out there, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get like swept under the rug because I got in a lot of trouble for just being me on the internet from a lot of people that want to represent the Gracies, and they're still mad at me to this day because I'm not here for you to like me. Like the last thing I need is your approval. And I'm pretty sure
Right.
that's why people are listening because I'm not trying to get you to listen to me. And I listened to way too much Bill Hicks and Lenny Bruce as a kid.
Yeah.
Sorry. I find if I throw in a dick joke, I get your attention. I've been teaching classes like that for over 2 decades. But this
Well, what
version
it
of
is
jujitsu it has to stay.
you're being you, and you don't have to be everybody's flavor. If everybody had the same flavor, everybody would just drink water, and that would be the best drink we've ever had in our lives. And which there's a reason there's a menu at a restaurant because not everybody's going to have the same tastes. So,
That's a nice metaphor.
um,
I like that. I
yeah,
like to think of myself as the Taylor Swift of jujitsu.
Taylor Swift of jujitsu.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Let's
that
take that one.
means. I don't have daughters either, so I've
There's a
never really
lane.
listened to Taylor Swift.
Gotta shake it off, man. There's a lane of people
Yeah.
that love me.
Okay.
Fuck me.
Well, no, I
The Gracie
appreciate
stuff
what you put out there.
gotta stay. Thanks,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate you tolerating me. I'm trying to make it more palatable so I can spread it further because I didn't expect to last this long on the internet because fucking hate this thing. Like every time the
Yeah.
camera's on me, I'm super uncomfortable. So that's why I start acting like an asshole because that's my
Yeah.
response to discomfort is to just be a prick. And I'm pretty sure that's why I get into a lot of fights. So like if I'm
Yeah.
upset or worried in some way, I either shut down and I'm super quiet or oh my God, it starts. So
Yeah.
anytime there's a camera on me, like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Fuck it, man. I figured I would be like stitched to death at some point. Like too many people would be making fun of me like Steven Seagal style. Like I'd just be like, oh well, that's over, and back to my normal life because the internet is not the real world. Like I get to go back to just normal person life, but it keeps building and the number keeps getting bigger. And now I'm announced as a certified instructor. And like I kind of got to get my shit together. So I'm gonna
Well,
try and be a bit more palatable.
and not just certified as an instructor, right? So there's layers to this. Number one, you're an instructor with a group of savages among, arguably King Savage and Hickson, and you're one of a small group of people that has been deemed worthy to be part of that group. So, I know that there's some self-deprecation and some talk about people tolerating you, but it's not about tolerating you if you're selected to be in this kind of a group. It means you're doing something right and your jujitsu is good and it's respected. No matter what
Take
the
compliments well.
shitbirds on the
I'm gonna
internet say. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna ignore it. Yep. I do. It's very kind of you. I'm very bad with compliments, so thank you. I'm just gonna pretend that I didn't say a dick joke.
Well,
It's very cool. Thank you very much.
yeah,
I don't know. I came from 20 years of like hardcore abuse, and I'm not talking about jujitsu. I'm talking about my life, and like I'm not comfortable with anything that doesn't involve being a joke in the end. Because if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. So
yeah,
I am genuinely proud of this achievement, and it cannot be taken away from me.
yeah,
So I've got that feather in my cap of fuck you forever.
yeah,
But it's not about me, and I think that's what makes it more palatable is that I'm not trying to jump on the internet and say, look at me. I'm trying to say, look at this. Like, look at this thing. I need more people. In my lifetime, for me, like, I'm happy. Like, I've got a family now and I've got kids and like, I've got everything that I could ever genuinely want because I'm a pretty simple guy. Like, fire, ocean, family, good.
yeah,
Friend, good. I'm Frankenstein. I don't need much, man. I was living in a closet, when she found me teaching jujitsu, and I'm sleeping in a hammock. And I'm teaching jujitsu, but I have
yeah,
an opportunity to share something that's more important than me and preserve an art that's more important than me with a group of people that have the same passion, and I'm very lucky for that. So if that means I got to be on the internet and be the guy yelling into the void because I've taken 20 years of abuse. I can take another. So like, wait, oh no, he said something mean.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Fuck you gonna do
and
about it?
I'll say this. I'm a big believer. So number one, I've been also on that end of abuse, and dealt
You're a
with a
Marine.
lot of things. Well, but even prior to the Marine Corps and actually post Marine Corps too, when you have had a lot of uh fucking challenges in your life, and it's been about just trying to survive the whole time. Obviously, you get into this thing where okay, yes, you become funny. You uh, have a mouth. You can kind of channel some of these pieces as kind of like armor to keep people from seeing that you also have feelings still, one or two left in there. And but when you come out on the other end of that, and then you have stability in your life, and you don't shit all over it immediately. Because I've been there too, where stability comes, and then I find a way to fuck it up. Um, if
Yeah.
you can get into that stable kind of part of your life where you're appreciating the fact that you got a wife and your kids and you're fed and um, roof, and you know where your next meal is coming from, and you appreciate it, and you're doing something to give back, whether it's jujitsu in your case, or helping your favorite charity, whatever the hell it is. If you're putting good shit into the world, um, I think that people that have been through that kind of shit uh, are, how can I put it? Maybe better at putting good out into the world because they're tired of the bad. And I don't want to say somebody that's never had those big
Yeah.
challenges can, I'm not saying they can't be great people, but I do think when people have
Yeah.
come through
I'm with you.
abuse and out the other end and realize that they know, number one, how to survive, but they start learning that they have some worth, boy, they become powerful people. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. I agree. It's hard not to get mad when some people will say like rude things, and you know that this is a single guy in his 30s. Like if you really think about it, it sounds flippant, but just the idea of like you're single, you're 30 and you're bitter, but you're strong and I every time I have a online squabble, like the easiest way for me to back away from it, I can think of like that person at 8 years old sitting at the kitchen table not wanting to be yelled at by his mom or something. Like I can see where you're coming from. If I look at it in that angle and that light, I don't get as upset because letting something get to me is my choice, like some Viktor
Yeah.
Frankl shit. I'm not exactly in Auschwitz over here. I'm sitting by the beach teaching jujitsu. So I really don't have a leg to stand on as to sadness these days.
Yeah.
So, and another, the idea of ruining my happiness, fuck, you hit a nerve on that one. Like the first couple of years of actually knowing what happiness is, I was like, I must kill this. This
Yeah.
must die. Otherwise, it will leave me, and then I'll be more sad because I tasted honey, and like a taste is worse. It's a whole thing. Like when you've had a fucking shitty run, it like even enemies kind of become friends. You know,
Yeah.
it's wild, and
Well, you become addicted to the chaos, you know.
yeah,
Um,
I guess that's
this is
why I thrive.
whether it's abuse or, if we talk about military and combat and these kinds of things, um, you know, you'll have a lot of guys that'll talk about, if, in my case, like combat, you don't miss it, but you miss it. Like you miss feeling something that powerful in those moments that can't be replicated necessarily, but you find ways to get it. And you, it's like you learn how to survive and thrive in chaos. And so when chaos isn't there, it's like you want the chaos because you've got comfort
It's
there.
neural pathways. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
your neural pathways.
Yeah.
It's I've got a lot of friends in the military. I've got a lot of friends that have seen combat, and one of them suggested a very specific book to me because my version of combat is not that version because that version is fucking intense.
Hmm.
Absolute respect to that. Mine was like boohoo. Just the idea of your neural pathways have kind of built themselves and you can rewire those things. Like I had to do therapy where I was talking into a fucking mirror. Like you're a good person. You deserve to be loved and be happy. Like
Yeah. The
the
Stuart
more you
Smalley.
say these things, yeah, it's wild that it actually does change things. And because I
Yeah.
was very connected to a specific kind of music, and then I had to let that music go. That had to leave me. I can't have that anymore. And that was a big one for me to rewire. It can be done, but it takes a lot of fucking time and it actually takes the effort and you got to want it. So therapy helped. Therapy genuinely helped. I only did about a year and a half, 2 years. But if anybody else is out there going through dark shit, therapy's fucking useful. Like
Yeah.
honestly, having a talk to somebody and they can rationalize things and be in an open space where you can start to hear yourself speak and then question the right questions. I think
Yeah.
that helped quite a bit. But just the idea of being miserable and feeling comfortable being miserable and being challenged and feeling comfortable being challenged, that's just neural pathway shit, man. And you can fix it because this is a meat sack. You're in charge of the meat sack until it dies. You can fix it.
Yeah. I will push back a little bit on, when you said the shit that I went through is easy compared to, you know, your shit is your shit, and it's not any less important than my shit. You know, so um, you know, veterans and combat veterans, we don't have a corner on the market on stress and post traumatic stress and those types of things, and I think sometimes that gets lost a bit. Car accident victims, victims of sexual assault, victims of physical and emotional abuse, uh, all of those are just as important to that person that went through it as somebody who went through combat. And, I always push back on this because I've heard, you're not the first person to be like, oh, well, my stuff's not as bad as your stuff. Sure it is because it's yours. And so, you still have to, work through it and get back to feeling like you've got worth, when you may not feel that way because of the things that you've been through. And you're right, it's neural pathways. Um, and so, uh, as much as I like to say that I suck at jujitsu, I'm actually trying to make a conscious effort to not say that, because if you say shit like that, you're going to believe it, and then you're going to suck at jujitsu. And I don't want to suck at jujitsu anymore. You know?
I like to think that I'm adequate. I'm
Yeah,
adequate. I'm okay. I'm field proficient. How's that?
right. And that's, you know what? That's
Field
good enough.
proficiency.
Right.
That's good enough.
So, yeah.
Oh man.
So,
Yeah.
well, Chris, I appreciate you getting up and I appreciate,
No stress.
some random dude asks you to do a podcast at 7 o'clock in the morning. when you could be
It's my
sipping your
pleasure.
coffee out, looking at nice new sunshine or
Yeah,
getting your son ready for school. So
I should have probably put pants on for this. So I'm
that's okay.
freezing.
I can only see your is that like a women's sweater robe thing?
No, it's my cardigan. You
You
can't
look
shit on
comfortable.
cardigans. These things are so. It's a tactical cardigan. It's got
Yeah,
pockets. So it's not. I'm not comfortable. I thought it was supposed to be spring. It's supposed to be nicer over here. It's freezing.
that's
My
and
son.
I know you've talked about this in other podcasts, but clearly you're not Australian by birth. Um, how did you get to be in Australia?
My family. I was born in Florida, grew up in Atlanta, and my father worked for credit card companies, and they were just being built at the time, and we would fly all over the world. So it was kind of like just like an army brat, but for credit cards. So we'd go to different countries. And at some point, they offered him a gig in Australia, which was completely new back in the day. And I came out here in the early 90s and spent a chunk of my life, and then went back to Atlanta and spent a chunk of my life. And I think during the formative years is when my accent occurred. But then I spent like 35 more years in Australia. My family went back to America. I stayed here, and I've been here ever since. But then I just travel a fucking time. And I spent another 3 years over in Arizona. And I don't know, it's just an accent. I can't help it. If
Yeah,
I talk through me fucking nose, I sound Australian.
right.
You just got to talk through your nose to be Australian. So I just don't.
Okay. So
But yeah, no, Atlanta and Australia have been the two, I think, most prominent chunks of my life.
okay. Does your son have an Australian accent or a Chris Burns accent?
Man, it's gonna be weird because he's growing up in Australia and his mom is super Italian. So it's like Sofia Vergara in
Okay.
Modern Family. Like I ordered the baby cheeses. Like the way she speaks
Oh,
is like it's not funny. It's just true because
yeah,
English is her second language. So amore piacere vedere. Like it's so fucking Italian. So if
yeah.
he ends up, Daddy, listen, it's not racist. He's just fucking half Italian. He's Italian
Right.
as shit. So, and now we're
That's
literally
hilarious.
flying off to Italy in a couple days. So maybe his formative years might be in Italy. So I don't know because someone told me the other day that during puberty is when you pick up your accent. And I'm like, that sounds like nonsense, but I don't understand the human body. So there's a certain chunk in time where wherever you are, that becomes your accent. And right now, like, he sounds like a cross between my mom, my dad, me, and his mom because my mom and dad are here visiting and they're Southern as fuck. They are like,
Yeah,
how y'all doing? Hail,
yeah.
like super goddamn Southern. Atlanta, Georgia Southern.
Bless his heart.
And
Yeah,
then yeah, blitz y'all, like the whole thing, like a sassy black woman. I fucking love the accent. I hope he ends up sounding like that. I want him to
yeah.
sound like a sassy black woman. No. Fuck. And then his other, like, I took him over because I was in a household that was half black, half Spanish half of the time. So if we go and visit them, hopefully he ends up with a Spanish Italian accent. So, fuck. I don't know, man. We're going to find out. Either way, he's going to be a dick.
Yeah.
Me and his mom are both very loud and opinionated. So
Okay.
he already says no. He's
Yeah.
not even 5 yet. He's like, no, hands up, don't touch me. No.
Yeah. And he
I'm gonna get
negotiated
after
that,
him.
the star. It started with a green cookie. I would have gone for that. Like, if I'm 5, I'm taking the green cookie. And
He
it
already
went to
has a
star,
cookie.
and you elevated star. He's like, no, a toy. Like, now I got you. Now I got
He's
you
good, man.
sliding here. He's got you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the good thing is he has the memory of a goldfish right now. So the actual negotiations will take place in teen years. Right now,
yeah.
he has a star chart for behavior. If he gets enough stars, he gets a ribbon. He gets 2 ribbons, he gets a toy. So we have been negotiating from day one. Because I
Yeah.
remember at some point, Eliza got mad. Eliza's my wife. She was like, "We can't keep bribing him." It's like, it's not a bribe. Everything's a negotiation. Everything is a
Yeah.
goddamn negotiation. It's the only way to keep him in his lane is like he has to do it because he wants to do it because he feels good. That'll come when his brain works. Right now, we need some semblance of order. His brain
Right.
no work now. his brain is like still absorbing this stuff. And if I can get him currently doing 10 push-ups and 10 squats to earn something, he realizes that he has to do something physical or do something emotional. Like I'm still learning as a dad, but
Yeah.
let's see how this goes. Because I'm not spanking him, but like he's gonna lose a toy. Like, he loses out on something that he wants. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
get to do the cool thing this weekend, and I stick to my fucking guns. Like we're not going to the space museum. No, because you didn't listen the other day, and he doesn't even remember that he didn't listen the other day. Like
Right.
that's gonna take years. But I also don't want to like smack him around and tell him, "Oh, don't make me do it again, boy." Like
Right.
no, I don't want that from my kid. I want him to grow up like head up, strong, not afraid of shit. But he has to be able to like negotiate with me. I
You
think
got
that's
him
an
on the
important.
mats?
I don't know. Not yet. So he learns technically yes. So he learns jujitsu because it's his lifestyle. I remember Hickson pulled me aside about this because I had Jasper with me when we were doing some stuff in LA, and Jasper was a fucking chunk. He's so chubby because he had Similacs instead of breast milk. So he was like like the
Little
Michelin
Michelin
Man
baby.
baby. And
Yeah.
yeah. And he's like stumbling on the mats, and Hicks is like, he's gonna be a fucking heavyweight. He's a big boy. He pulled me aside and said, don't force him into jujitsu. He gave me some straight up advice, unsolicited, and oh my God, it was gold. He's like,
Yeah.
put him in the water, put him under the water, throw him in the air. Like all these great things that I did, and the child services is coming for me. So I threw him as high in the air as possible and caught
Yeah.
him to see if he would freak out. Like he didn't freak out. He laughed. I'm in trouble. That's one.
Yeah.
And then two, he was born to be in the water, so just put him under the water. He'll hold his breath. And I was like, if I kill my baby, sorry, baby. And he's like, just started swimming. I got it on video. And
Yeah.
then not forcing him to do jujitsu, but raising him within jujitsu has been a big one because we play all kinds of games. Like, don't let me touch your face. Don't let me touch your neck. Like
Hmm.
fix your base. So he doesn't want to fall. Like every time I do this, say, no, I don't like that. So I've been building on the self-defense more than the do the armbar. No,
Good.
he does judo. So we go in the academy, he throws me around. He's doing judo.
Hey,
Yeah, he's
I really,
doing
really
it.
like that approach. Um, Burnout in any sport is very prevalent in, at least in the US. You have these, soccer parents and football parents that, they have their kids has a professional coach by the time they're 6, and, and they're just, so driven. They're going to be the next, Tom Brady, uh, Hall of Fame
It's
football player. And
they,
usually they peak in middle school,
it's a
and
noble pursuit.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
don't want him to do that. I want him to be happy and I want him to be
bingo.
well adjusted. And that's all I care about. If that means he's going to be a banker, great. Like as
Yeah.
long as he's happy. But there's no version of my life that doesn't involve basic situational awareness. Like I make him find our car. I get him to tell me where the exits are. At one point, I was asking him how many men are in the room because he can count. I was
Yeah.
like, count how many men and how many women. And like, I'm blending up vegetables from day one because I should be dead. So unless she miraculously finds Idris Alba and they become a couple and he can raise my son, like I need him to have like a firm foundation before someone shoots me. You know, I want him to be able to fend for himself in a way that's. You ever seen the movie Mr. Fantastic?
I'm I'm sure I have, but
I want to be sick. If you ever see it, I want to be 60% that.
okay.
So, like, it's worth it. Anybody that's watching this to watch that movie. Viggo Mortensen. The wife dies and he takes care of his kids, and they live in a bus. It's a phenomenal film where he raises them, like learning how to knife fight, like learning how to not just regurgitating knowledge and like I can quote the Constitution. No, tell me what you feel about that amendment. I want
Right.
that because when I read him books, I ask him, I'm like, okay, what does that make you feel? How do you feel about that? I I want that. I wish I had that. Like I love my dad. I love my family, but my dad was always at work. I have the
Hmm.
opportunity to be with my son. And when I can be with my son, I want to share like cognitive skills. Like I want you to have
Yeah.
logic. I don't want you
I
to just be
appreciate
an
that.
athlete. Yeah. I'd rather him be happy and self-sustained. I'll give him a pocket knife and $20 at my funeral. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you got
Well,
this. Steak dinner.
I like that, it sounds you'll read Horton Hears a Who, but then you're going to ask him about what Horton was feeling or thinking when he was,
I
like,
read him Frankenstein. He's reading
okay,
Shakespeare,
Frankenstein.
sir.
Okay, I apologize. Dr. Seuss is
No, no, he
beneath you.
loves he he
Um,
he loves Dr. Seuss. He
yeah,
loves Monsters High School and Dr. Seuss are the two favorites. But I'll he watches mom and dad TV. We barely watch TV. Like he'll watch like Bluey and the Good Night song sometimes, like if we're desperate. But outside of that, like he'll watch documentaries on bees and weird shit, and he'll get like, oh my God, TV, and he'll get into
yeah,
it. And then I'll start reading and I'll read out loud to him until he's like, oh, it's so boring. Shut up, Dad. Then I'll read what he wants.
yeah.
So yeah, he has to put up
Very
with
cool.
I mean, shove knowledge in his head. I want him to actually read Shakespeare, not the Cliff Notes. I want him to understand things. So if
Yeah,
if that leads into him really enjoying Morrissey and trying to explain Morrissey to his friends, that's better than nothing. At least he's passionate about a thing, you know?
yeah,
And now he's trying to share the thing he loves. I think that's more important than what it was. Because he might fucking hate Frankenstein. It's a bit lengthy. It's a bit drawn out. I understand the art of it. It's beautiful. Oh, someone who really loves Frankenstein now hates me. I love Frankenstein. Don't kill me. You can't
yeah.
say shit on the
I know. Yeah, because the internet's forever. Um, Chris,
it is,
again,
isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Internet.
It is. Yep, that middle finger. Like as soon as this goes up,
It's there forever.
it's going to be a profile picture somewhere. Oh, hey, last thing,
Sure.
the Thinker Monkey.
Is it the porn store? Oh,
No,
that was the
the
porn
Thinker
store.
Monkey. You drew that, or you created the
Yeah.
Thinker Monkey, the tatami?
Yeah. Dude,
No shit.
weirdly enough, like it's a long running joke between us, but I think like a good 50% of what people think Mirkatsu made is me. You know Mirkatsu?
Yeah,
He's another artist who's very famous in the field. There's a small group well, it used to be on Facebook. I don't know where it is anymore because I stopped drawing a long time ago. Um, I did a lot of artwork for Tatami and a bunch of other companies. It's still floating around to this day, to the
yeah,
point where an internet troll that hates me wrote a bunch of really rude comments. And then when I looked at his profile, he was wearing my rash vest. Like
that's
I've
funny.
already ruined your life in multiple ways.
So I
But
mean,
yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
I'm like 95%. I have to look. Um, I'm like 95% sure that's not there right now, but my Facebook banner background or whatever the hell that is, that's not your profile picture, but it's at the top or whatever. It's
Yeah.
about half the time it is the Thinker Monkey. It's my
Oh,
favorite
that's cool,
jujitsu
man.
art of all time. Anyway, but
I appreciate that.
yeah, that's dope. Uh, I'm gonna have to look up more of your
Did you
art.
ever see the older version? Did you ever see the
No,
old version? I don't think that they published it as much. I'll send it to you after this on your email. But it's
okay,
an older monkey sitting on tatami surrounded by books. And it's just
really,
one monkey. And yeah, I drew that afterwards, but it wasn't um it didn't have enough negative space to design properly. So it's more of an art piece than it is palatable for clothing.
okay,
Like the thinker monkey was like a perfect symmetry sculpture of the thinker. And I remember I had the statue. I had a statue of like a small statue of a monkey sitting on a pile of books holding a skull because I thought it was funny. I bought it for myself for my
Tommy.
birthday, and then I made
Maybe I
it
have seen it.
into that.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
awesome.
older version, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah,
I'd love to see it. Love to see other
thanks.
art. I enjoy that kind of stuff, and I'm a jujitsu nerd too. So, yeah, I'm all about it. So, um, Chris, thank you. I appreciate your time, and I know that you've done some other podcasts, and it sounds like you're doing kind of that whole movie release tour right now.
Yeah.
So,
The
but
last one I did, the one before was nothing but porn store questions. So that was fun.
Yeah,
So
mine's a
yeah,
little different.
I
Um,
I've lived a myriad of strange lives. The dishwashing one was fun too. I enjoyed being a dishwasher. But no,
nice.
comic book artist was super cool. I enjoyed doing that. I might go back to that one day. I might
Yeah.
come back and do comic books.
Well, you're talented, so do it
I appreciate
if you
that.
want to,
Thanks, man.
or don't. But that's like that's real talent. Like that's been in consideration for a tattoo at some point. So, uh, yeah.
Somebody got the chess gorilla and
Hmm.
the devil in the triangle, the devil's triangle one. That was me as well. Like over a decade ago, Rickson shared that before he was actually working with me.
Wow.
That was cool. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Well, and so that's
Um,
that means it's good. It means they're not sharing it with you because they like you and want to encourage you. They like it because it's like legit good, and they didn't know you from Adam yet. They
I think
didn't know what
Pedro
kind of an
Sauer used
asshole you
to
are yet.
corner Rickson about it.
Yeah.
That nuisance. I'd rather
Yeah.
have him sitting silent behind a computer illustrating.
Right.
No, the next step for me, had a guy come out and he was asking me, like, are you gonna go back into comic books? You gonna do this? You gonna do that? I honestly think the next step for me is something closer to Captain Ron. Like, I'm probably gonna start a burger. You got the reference, my
Heck
man.
yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna, yeah, I'll start a
I
burger stand on an island somewhere.
I talk to my wife all the time about moving down to the Virgin Islands and just opening some. I talk to her about beach umbrellas. I'm like, babe, we could buy a shitload of umbrellas and just go around on a 4-wheeler and put them in for people and then collect them at night. And then, that's
I'm
our money.
sorry, but it's a
That's the
great
biggest
living.
stress we have. Right.
I'm gonna have
So,
fucking margaritas on the beach. I'm gonna have a cocktail. Like
yeah.
that's living the last of my life. I'm doing it. I'm on a sailboat, calling my son Swab. Ah, it's so close. I could feel it. I get to grow my hair long because nobody gets to pull it out by trying to hold me down. The only
Right.
reason I get haircuts anymore is because that one knee right there pulls that chunk out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I don't grow my beard any longer than it is. I don't want it ripped out as people are
One
grabbing a
day
paper cutter. Yeah.
I'll
So,
be fashionable again one day. No earrings, no nothing. Had to take out the cock ring. Yeah. One day
yeah.
it'll come.
On that note, this has been the Still Rolling Jiu Jitsu podcast. Please like and subscribe. And it's funny. One of my next guests is actually the Ohio Attorney General, so it'll
He
be a
has a
nice
cock ring?
contrast. I don't know if I'm going to ask him. I doubt I'll ask him that. But yeah, I doubt it.
Sorry about me. I
Yeah.
really need to be more awake for these things. Do you ever see
So
Mr. Show?
yeah,
Never. So any
yeah,
cock will do. I just need to hang up. All right.
all
Sorry
right.
about me. God. Michael, Scott, Rickson, James. Sorry. Sorry,
Yeah,
Miss Calcia.
punk rock warlord. Um, so if you've enjoyed this
Let's just
episode,
end
please like
this.
and subscribe. And again, we always encourage our guests to be exactly who the hell they are when they're on the show. And
That's right.
keep training. That's it.